Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I did finish the week with 9 wins and 6 losses for a win rate of 60%, which is very, very bad. Didn't do that well percentage-wise. Short week, every time there's a short week, I just don't seem to do so well. Seems to be my history, but once in a while I do have a good short week, but this wasn't not one of them. But it seems like most of my losses this week were with Tesla. Tesla just was very difficult to trade. But anyways, with that said, I'll just get right into it. Trade ideas room on, let's see, make sure I have the right day up here. Trade ideas room on the 14th, which was Monday. SPY puts under 540. We had this big gap up. 540s right here, and it did end up breaking. I didn't touch it the first half an hour. No, I didn't. I didn't touch that, but I did take Tesla though. I took Tesla 250 puts on the 14th. I took it at 936. I'll make sure I have the right date. Yeah, I took it at 936. Which is right here. Yeah, it popped up and opened. I guess I do remember this a little bit. You see right here, it's rejecting this 259 area when it popped up and it came back down. Once it broke below the 258 level, that's when I ended up taking it, thinking that we were gonna dump. We did end up doing it. And so I did grab puts. I grabbed the 250 puts at 610. They went from 610 to $8. It doesn't seem like they really moved much considering the amount of drop, but it is what it is. Then I took SPY puts at 1017, which is right here. I see what I did here. I didn't trade the first half an hour on SPY. SPY has been really hard to do. Trade on the first half an hour of the week, so I just choose to avoid it. I don't usually make those rules for the any other tickers besides SPY. It's mostly SPY. It's just SPY just likes to go all over the place and just do a lot of fake outs and stuff, so I choose to avoid it for the first half an hour on Mondays or the first trading date of the week, whatever day it depends it lands on. But yeah, dropped. It faked out right here. I tried to pop, but it didn't. It came back down. So when it came back down, I took it under the 540. And when it came under 540, it just popped one against me. So I ended up taking the 540 puts at 315. It popped. I just stopped out. Then it just ends up dropping. So it is what it is. And then I took Tesla calls. This one, yeah. This one was, I remember this one clearly because when we dropped here, we came back up to the 259 area and we broke it, came back down, and when it came back up, you can see all the bodies of these candles right here, the 258.50 area. I get the body, the body, the body, the body. So it's like, okay, we get up to this 258.50-ish area, we're gonna pop. So I grabbed the 260 calls at 1040, which is this candle right here. Once we break it, I grabbed the 260 calls at 750, and as soon as I get in, it knifes, and boy was I pissed. So not too happy about that. Then I took puts on SPX at 1138, which is right 1138. I took it in this candle right here. I'm not quite sure why I took it in this candle, but I did. I'm trying to look to see why I took it here. I'm not quite sure why I did. But yeah, we had this massive breakdown candle right here. And then when it came back up, I must have grabbed it underneath this 538.50 area and grabbed puts. I grabbed a 53.40 puts at $10. And I went 10 to 7. 10 to $17, so we got a $7 move out of that, so definitely happy about that. And so yeah, I finished Monday, 2 wins and 2 losses. Not a great start to the week. Then I took the 15th, traded his room on the 15th. I said SPY calls over 541, which is this area right here. 541? Yeah, which is up here. So yeah, I had this low right here, this high right here, and the first 2-minute candle broke it. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything until like 10 o'clock, so that's right here, but we'll get that in a second. The first play of the day, I took Tesla calls on the 15th. So yeah, when it broke high a day on the second candle, that's when I took the 260 calls at 460, and they went from 460 to 585 on that play right there, ORB play. Then I said I took calls on at 1003, which is right here. Now you get the green candles right here. You get this pullback candle, and then when it went above, what got it, 1003, I got it in this candle. So yeah, when I went over the 542 area, that's when I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 5480 calls at 790, and they went from 790 to 910. So not that great of a play. Got $1 plus out of it. So, and it ended up being a massive fake out, a sharp move. But one thing you gotta watch out for with these big sharp moves right here, whenever you see these massive candles, you chase it, you end up getting burnt because they end up retracing or just being a massive fake out and going the opposite direction. So I've noticed that the last few weeks is whenever you have these crazy volatile candles come out of nowhere, don't chase the candle. Wait for it to close the 10-minute candle. Give it a little bit of what do I want to call it? Just some chance to calm down. Let the action calm down a little bit before doing it, because they end up retracing quite a bit. So, and I think this is exactly what happened, because I took the puts right here at 1026. So yeah, I think this is exactly what happened. To me, was I went down here, and after this candle closed, I grabbed. Did I grab it right here? Yeah, I did. I'm not quite sure why I didn't sell it right here. I'm not quite sure about this play, because I got it at 1026. I got it in this play. This candle closed. This candle was green, so it popped up and came back down. So I must have grabbed it when it broke new lower day underneath 539. I grabbed the 5350 puts at 880, and for some reason I didn't sell it. It popped, and maybe the drop was too fast for me to get it, and it just popped. Then I ended up stopping out at 5. So then it just chopped and didn't go anywhere for a while. But I did take puts at 1111 right here. Okay, I remember what I did right here. I grabbed it at the 542 because it was getting every time I hit 532 or close to 542, every time I got close to 542, it got slammed on. Up here got slammed on 1, 2, 3, it just right here again. So I took the chance and I grabbed puts at the 542 area, thinking that we were going to stay in range, which was very gutsy to do. And they were the 5400 puts too, so a nice big fat round number. So I grabbed the 5400 puts at 980, and they ended up dropping right there, and they went from 980 to 1380. So I got a $4 move out of that. I remember playing this because I think a few times, every time I got over close to 542, I grabbed puts in other accounts, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and then it finally dropped. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened here. The only thing I think is I bought puts right here at lower day, and it went against me too fast. And then I realized 542 was getting shut down, and that's when I grabbed puts here. And that worked out, so I'm not going to complain about that. It was a pretty decent day. Then Tesla caught me again on Wednesday. Traded his room. I said SPY calls over 534, which is right here off this high. First 2-minute candle didn't get there. Well, actually it did. It got there by like 1 penny. No, it didn't get there. Did it? No, 533.86. No, I didn't get that. So then it just dropped. But I ended up grabbing Tesla calls at 9:33, and I remember looking at this pre-market because we rejected 250 here, 250 here. That if we got over 250, we were gonna rock it. At least that's what I thought, anyways. And we got over 250, and it just chopped and did nothing. So I had the 250 calls at 560. It just kept chopping and chopping and chopping. Then I ended up stopping out. I think over in here, I stopped out at like 4. Then it popped a little bit. I'm not quite sure if they went green or not. If they did, they weren't much. Then I took puts at 11:22, which is right here. Oh yeah, I remember this play. Yeah, I took the calls here. I stopped out in here somewhere. So when it popped up here, I was like, okay, we get to 250, I'm going to buy puts, and I'm going to do like I did with SPY. When every time SPY got over 542, it got shut down. So I was like, okay, if it gets close to 250, I'm going to buy the 250 puts. It's going to get shut down. So I bought the 250 puts at 490, and it popped. And of course, I took 2 losses. So I had calls here, did nothing, popped. I don't even know if those calls even went green or not. So I decided to play the shutdown, which probably was not a good idea. And I got puts here, and as soon as I got puts, it popped. So I stopped out, and it flushed. And boy, that was very, very annoying. But then I ended up grabbing SPY puts at 1237, right here. I grabbed the 5,300 puts at 1237. So I'm going to assume with these red candles, these were green. So when it broke below 530, 531, perhaps. Yeah, when I broke below 531, I grabbed the 5,300 puts at 1050, and they went from 1050 to 1220. So I got a little bit of a play out of that. Then I ended up taking calls at 223, which is right here. Now remember this, got 3 big nasty red candles, and you get this green candle. I was kind of looking for an FU setup here, but it didn't. Instead, it made a red candle here, and you get the body, the wick, and the body. So I told people in the room that if it got over 526, I was going to take calls. I took the 5,300 calls at $7, and they went from 7 to 890, and I got a little bit of a play out of that. Then it just ended up dropping and being a bear flag. Probably should have played the bear flag, but for some reason I thought we were going to bounce more than we did because we had such a huge drop from 532 to 24. That's almost an $8 drop, well, $6 drop. So I thought we were going to bounce more than we did, but we didn't. Plus the 20 EMA, which is this blue line, was pretty far away. Thought we'd actually bounce up to it. I know the wick looks like that we went to higher day. We didn't. This was a fat finger. I don't even think it even went over 526. I hate that we get these candles once in a while. I don't get them on E-Trade. I only get them on TOS, and it messes up my chart, messes up the indicators and stuff. I hate that, but it is what it is. Can't really do too much about it. Then on, let's see, Thursday, traded his room. I said SPY puts under 527, which is right down here. Well, 527, yeah, right here, this low, rounded down. I took puts at 1009, which is right here. Didn't touch it. Inside candle popped up a little bit. I wasn't really looking at calls, but when it came back down, it broke new lower day. That's what I grabbed. I grabbed SPY puts at 527 and the 527 puts at 265, and they went from 265 to 440. So that ended up being a good play. SPX was too expensive. SPX has been very, very expensive at the beginning of the day. Lately, once in a while, I can get something in the middle of the day or late in the afternoon. And Tesla again burned me again at 1203, which is right here. I was looking at this area right here, 95, 229, 239, sorry. Went up to VWAP, rejected, came back down. So once it broke 239, that's when I grabbed the Tesla 240 puts at 247, and it bounced, and I ended up stopping out at $1.20. So, yeah, I mean, the good thing I didn't touch it again, because I would have gotten another fake out right down here too. And Tesla has been a nightmare. Just not, it's acting like SPY, where it just traps you and tricks you at levels. And I mean, after I took that loss, this Tesla loss right here, I was like, I'm not touching it again this week. Well, obviously, it was the last trading day of the week, but I'm not touching Tesla anymore this week. It's giving me way too many losses. I think like 4 of my losses were with Tesla, or 3 of them at least. Then I end up taking calls at 1253, which is right 1253 right here. Yep, right here. Popped up out of the range, made new higher day, pulled back a little bit. Then when I got over the 529.50 area, and that's when I grabbed the 53.50 calls at $7, and they went from 7 to 8. Then it came back down the VWAP, and I took puts at what, 252, which is right up here. I just had a hunch that we weren't gonna go over to 531. I mean, one was monthly expiration, OPEX. Friday is Good Friday. The market's closed. Whenever we have a monthly expiration, it seems like they kind of like keep it within a range. So once it broke below 530, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 5,300 puts at $5, and they went from 5 to 1880, which is making a 200% move on that. So I took the chance, but I didn't grab puts up here like I have been the last with Tesla and SPY. I waited for it to get underneath 530, and then it dropped. So that ended up being a good play and ended up working out. So yeah, very happy about that. So hopefully next week is better, and yeah, so thanks for watching.